Hi everybody, this is Evan Mulch. I work for United Patriots Alliance as the tactical strategist, and I have with me one of our volunteers that helped out today in handing out these brochures. Don't believe the DEI. We're at a Greenville Chamber event, and as hundreds of employees of local corporations came in, we handed them these brochures, talked to them about what we believe to be true about DEI. It's a Marxist ideology. It's being pushed on people working in corporations. And Kris, you had an interesting experience with somebody as they were walking up. It looked like a scuffle at first, and I was a little bit worried that it could be, it could end up being something where we'd have to stop the discussion at some point. But tell me about what exactly happened.
Yeah, Evan. Well, I mean, we all know what the devil intends to be meant for evil and harm. God can turn it into something good and holy, and I believe that's what this conversation was. Little did I know at the beginning of this conversation, the gentleman I was speaking with, and I won't name him because he preferred not to be on any camera or any pictures or anything like that, but I had a great conversation with him. He is, in fact, a truth seeker. He is a truth seeker. He's coming in. He is a part of one of the speakers here.
When you say speakers, he's part of one of the sponsors?
That's right.
Yeah, one of the sponsors. He's part of their organization.
That's right. Yeah. So, but he's very open-minded to the truth, which how we all should be. And we just kind of started out first, and once we disarmed each other, if you will, we had a great conversation and really jumped into the values and what DEI is, what it truly should be, and inclusive of all folks, but we jumped into underlying what it really is in this agenda, which is Marxism, and stripping our freedoms is what at the core purpose of it is. So it was a great opportunity, and the result and the conclusion of that, Evan, as you know, was we entered into the presence of the Lord through prayer. He allowed me to pray with him. He confessed to be a believer. So it was such a blessing to be out here. And for me, Evan, I mean, we've touched so many folks. We've had conversations, but
Christians,
man, it was worth it.
Christians could get a lot out of this civic activity.
Yes.
Of looking at people in the eye and telling them, hey, I'm going to help you with discernment on this one issue because you are being led down the devil's path.
That's right.
Marxism is the devil's path. So if those of us who are Christians stand in the gap, educate these people, help them with their discernment, we're doing our job as Christians to help people see the light.
That's right. That's right. I'm glad you said that, Evan. Standing in the gap. That's where the church has ultimately failed as a whole for decades. Is we haven't stood up as the body of believers, the body of Christ, and stood in the gap to keep our country in line with godly principles, which is what our founding fathers intended. You look and read our South Carolina State Constitution, you read our U.S. Constitution, and it is on godly principles that we were founded on.
Yes. Well, we've got a helicopter flying over us right now. You can see over here, we're at the Greenville Convention Center. Anyway, God bless you for watching this. God bless you for doing what you did.
Yes.
You hung in there. We even had some pressure from the police to move to a different area. We didn't give in. We stood our ground, and we did our job being salt of the earth so people could know the truth.
Yeah, and speaking of that, Evan, real quick, the police and one of the officials, I'll say, that showed up, one of the workers, I'm guessing he was the city worker, I don't know, but he coned out an area for us to stand and said, this is your safe place to where you're allowed to stand. And we said, no, this is public property. We're allowed to be here. We're taxpayers. So that's what we did. And
we were doing nothing wrong. We were just telling people what we thought the truth was, and that's what Americans should always be allowed to do, to exercise our freedom of speech, to have these conversations with people.
Thanks for the invite, Evan.
Yeah, thank you for doing
yes,
what you
sir.
did.